Hello, Soul Fam. What's up? What it do? Welcome to K&M Witchery or Readings by K&M. That's me. I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe. For those of you who may not know, I am behind the camera this time for this particular spiritual check-in because I'm unfortunately enduring harsher than usual flare-ups. As a chronically ill girly, I do apologize. As a human being, I want to also thank you for your grace and patience. I know I haven't exactly been able to post up as frequently and on schedule, but just know that I am learning from these experiences and will absolutely create some more content and keep it in the background for times just like this. So for those of y'all who have been eagerly anticipating a post, here it is. I hope it's going to offer you what it is that you are requiring at this time. As always, let's dive right on in, okay? I started to shuffle in using the Fountain Tarot deck for y'all today, and our lovely Temperance had shot out, and I was just told to simply press play. So we're definitely going to pull in some more cards, but before we do, I want to talk about this Temperance card here and about, well, perhaps maybe the topic of the introduction, and that is grace. Oftentimes when we are on the brink of change, we tend to almost find narratives that oppose our happiness, that align with a reason or a cause to motivate a change, and usually it's more negative. Spirit here is asking those who are tuning in today to practice giving yourself more grace, to understand that things may not always work out or go to plan necessarily, but that doesn't also mean that it has to be the worst of the worst in order for us to give ourselves a little bit more extra tender love and care, or sprinkle in some gratitude in the overall situation that is so uncomfortable but can be made easier with the right types of mindsets. When Temperance comes out in my readings, this is a really beautiful signifier that you are never alone. That God, your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, whomever and whatever it is that you believe in, even if it is just in your own self. I do have a couple atheists, believe it or not, that tune in. Whatever it is that you believe in, you are ultimately in control of your reality. The rest is faith. The rest is in the belief that you can overcome. What it is that you pour into your life, into yourself, into your community, into your home will come right back around. That's the really beautiful power of karma. It could either be beautiful or it could be a bit, you know what I'm saying? But when you learn to offer yourself a little bit more grace and humanize your experience and make peace with what it is that you are looking to let go of or change or accept, suddenly our path forward becomes more illuminated. It becomes more efficient. We start changing our perspectives and narratives, and we start taking control of our situations as opposed to always falling victim to them. Now, that's not to say that you're never allowed to feel a little bit sorry for yourself or seek reassurance. It's about allowing the human experience of the overall situation to ground itself. In spirituality, we strongly believe that we are a soul having a human experience. I really want to emphasize that human factor of the equation, because oftentimes we are on this hunt for something that is deeper, something that is higher with a capital H, whilst forgetting that so much of that actually occurs through us. That without our physical body, without our immune system, our nervous system, our heart, our mind, our limbs, our ability to touch, to feel, to laugh, to cry, we're just energy. We are just a potential until someone makes something of it. That also includes the bridge between our reality and the spiritual reality. I myself, as a medium, bring to light the awareness and energies of the spiritual realm into human existence. But without it, without acknowledgement, without the remembrance, energy is just energy. It's fickle. It's there. It's able to non-exist simultaneously. And I know maybe this sounds like a lot of woo-woo, and maybe it doesn't exactly make sense, but that's the beauty of it. As humans, we can create and associate meaning to anything, or we can take it away. This is why so many people believe in mediumship, and so many people do not. Both are valid. It's about what it is that we choose to make our reality. So when we think about our circumstances, and say as an example, you really want to move out of your particular area, okay? You realize that where it is that you are is no longer where it is that you wish to be, and all it is that you desire is to move countries, to experience new food, new people, new pleasures. Instead of finding gratitude in your current location, whilst perhaps maybe hunting for new rental properties elsewhere, you start creating narratives that almost force you to move out. Suddenly you start hating your neighbors. And all of a sudden you start picking up on smells in the neighborhood that you absolutely cannot stand. It's like the smell of the garbage dump next to you never really bothered you before. It didn't really exist. It wasn't something that you put so much attention to, but now it's all you can freaking smell. And it's overwhelming to a degree that you start hating it. You start creating more stories and narratives to push you out, because how dare you request and require and desire change if what is good exists, right? It's like we have to find the negative in a situation for us to even move away from it. But why do we do that to ourselves? That's what Spirit's coming in to remind us today, that we don't have to do that. We can still acknowledge and accept that someone, something, some place has run its course for us, and hold gratitude. We do not have to worsen our state or our experience in order to demand or initiate or desire change. We can have both. We can acknowledge that we had a really beautiful experience and that we want something a little bit different. Why can't we have both? Why can't we offer ourselves grace in the moment? Because it is that type of mindset and narrative that will actually allow us to open up new doors more efficiently. We're already vibrating at the level that we wish to obtain more from. We don't have to work 10 times harder and dig ourselves out of a quote unquote rock bottom. Although sometimes that is necessary, yes. The dark nights of the soul and the shadow work and all of that, it is necessary. And Spirit, your life will grant you opportunities, but you don't have to create them where they do not exist, is what I am saying. Believe me, Spirit will present to you what is required to be healed, what requires attention. To build up on that and create it for yourself just solely so that you can embark on something new can become a little bit more detrimental, because now when you look at your past, you perhaps maybe start to substitute any peace and happiness with despair and anger and even hate. Suddenly, what was once good becomes horrible. And for what? Because you start seeing the quote-unquote reality in the situation? Well, our perspective is our reality. The person could live in the same neighborhood as you and never want to leave because they found their paradise, and you may not understand it. And you don't have to. But there's no need to worsen your state and criticize yourself or others, all because you're recognizing the misalignment. There's an opportunity for change, for transmutation, for acceptance, for a boundary, perhaps. How much easier would it be if we trusted in that inkling, in that knowing, in that desire, and actioned it without first formulating all of these different problems and narratives that make us feel more angry and more sad than we ever needed to be? Why not offer more grace? You are human, and that is very powerful. So just because you are human, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean that you fell off of your path or that you're on the wrong path. Oh my goodness, I hear that so many times. Kat, am I on the right path? And I simply ask, what path is there exactly? What is this metaphorical path that everyone keeps clinging onto? Like there's always somewhere you have to go, some place you need to be. Why not here? Why not now? It's a little reminder. I wrote the word now on the arm in which I would typically wear a watch to remind myself to stay present. Time is an illusion. Time is something that we formulated to make sense of things, right? And yet presence is the greatest gift we can offer ourselves. And change being the only constant, it actually works out to our betterment when we ground ourselves into the moment and we take the opportunities that come forward and allow us to actually do that, as opposed to build up in so much resentment and perhaps maybe sabotage them from ever occurring. It's okay if you're a little late, perhaps. Perhaps being late saved you in ways that you may never understand. One thing that I learned a few years ago was how to be grateful for getting stopped by the train tracks. It was always my luck. I lived in Alberta and I was quite close to the rail trains that rode by, and it was in between myself and the grocery store. And how often was it that I'm just a short block away and I just hear those ding, 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 and those like batons or whatever the heck those things are, like come down and they refrain me from moving. And I can be standing there for at least 10 minutes sometimes. Oh my goodness. And I used to get so angry about it too. Like, oh, I have to go shopping. Or I'm holding all of my groceries and I'm on my way back and it's like, oh, I just have to get home. And then I started wondering why? What am I so eager for? Why not just enjoy this for a minute? And when I started changing that narrative, I started having interesting conversations with other people who had passed by. And on another instance, there was a car crash that actually hit the spot where I would have been standing if it weren't for this train. You see how things kind of come into place? Spirit is asking you to offer yourself some more grace. Because everything is exactly as it should be, even if we're not consciously aware of why or how. My window is open. I hope that's not bothering anyone. The fresh air is really nice right now, though. Let's pull some more cards. Let's see what else we got. Spirit, what does the soul femme need to hear? Yes, about that grounding, though. We have the very beautiful Queen of Coins coming out here as a gentle reminder to be grounded, to understand that you are perfect just as you are. Even if you're not exactly where and how or who you want to be just yet, who you are right now is exactly who is going to get you there later. If it weren't for all of your troubles, for all of the delays, for all of the imperfections, you wouldn't be who you are tomorrow without them. That's the reality of it. That is how you can start changing the narrative and start taking more control over your reality, you see. So why make it worse than it could potentially be, when what is right now is so perfectly imperfect and just exactly right? I'm getting that story of Goldilocks and the three bears, right? It's too hot, it's too cold, it's just right. It's too hard, it's too soft, it's just right. We can always find the good and the bad in any situation. And that never means, by the way, that you should also feed yourself in the narrative that someone always has it better or worse than you, because that just devalues your own human experience at any given time. It's the matter of choosing the most efficient perspective that actually helps motivate you forward. Otherwise, you're just stuck in stagnancy or delusion. Because yes, you can be too far into the delulu, and we see that too often in the spiritual realm. Not realm, world, human world. Everyone's like, I'm so spiritual, everything is really happy. As long as I think positive, only the positive things will always happen. And we're just going to ignore all of the horrible things in the world because, well, they don't exist in my reality. And then you end up falsifying the overall experience, because it's about balance. It's about accepting the duality that can exist at any given time and any grays in between. So the question comes in is, what are you choosing to ground into this experience right here and right now, soul fam? Perhaps maybe that's something worth pondering about and reflecting on. Are your thoughts making your reality easier or more difficult? And if it is in fact more difficult, what can you do right now to ground in a newer perspective? One that pushes you forward toward the person that you wish to be, without neglecting and harming, criticizing and shaming the person that you are. I heard my snaps. Oh boy. Oh boy. For those of y'all who are new, when I hear my snaps, that means it's done. We're done here. So it's crazy how only with these 2 cards here, a message was delivered, but I do trust in the channelings that came through today, and I do strongly hope that it helped anyone and all who needed it. Do let me know, please, with a like and a comment down below. And, well, for what it's worth, I hope it motivated anyone who needed to hear it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much love to ya, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Peace.